Okay guys, let us discuss the next example, which is based on again radioactivity, example number 9. First of all of you note this problem statement, then after we are going to the solution. Write down a radionuclide P32, a radionuclide P given data. So P32 like this. Okay, P32 with a half-life, a radionuclide P32 with a half-life 14.3 days. 14.3 days is produced in a reactor at a rate of alpha is equal to okay, let's I'm writing a alpha is equal to 2.7 into 10 raised to 9 per second. So second inverse per second, full stop. A radionuclide P32 with a half-life 14.3 days, with a half-life 14.3 days, 3 days is produced in a reactor at a rate of alpha is equal to 2.7 into 10 raised to 9 per second, full stop. After what time from the beginning its activity becomes 10 raised to 9 disintegration per second. So its activity becomes 10 raised to 9 disintegration per second. It means decay per second. Disintegration per second. Okay, and we have to find the time here. So find the time in this means how much time required from the beginning. Beginning means what? At t is equal to 0. So now we call r is equal to what? R0. So its activity becomes like this. So up to this example, actually we are going to the solution, but first we understand this problem. Okay, up to this example we solve this type of problems, but at that time this rate is not given to us. Accumulation rate does not given to us. Only what happened here, only this type of situations occur. Okay, let's write a note for this example, then after we are just going to the solution. We derive the equation of accumulation. Okay, equation of accumulation. First we derive this relation, then after we are just going to the solution. Okay, let's see. Up to this session we only discuss one substance is only disintegrate, nothing is added into this one. Okay, here this much of added into the any nuclear reactor. Okay, let's see, suppose it is a nuclear reactor. Consider it is what? Nuclear reactor in which this substance P32, so that is a substance, we just write general substance. So suppose consider that is a substance X. What is this? Any substance X. Now when it is decayed, if this substance is radioactive, then it is decayed. It is a decayed like this. So if it is decay, what we write? Then dN by dt is equal to minus lambda. That is our general equation if it is decayed. Okay, now this what this terms is represent what? Change in nucleus with respect to time. This terms is represents change in nucleus with respect to time. Means what? Number of decayed nucleus with respect to time. What is this representation? How many nuclei are decayed? So here we something added here something. In this situation we add something. How many nucleus are added here up to this accumulation rate? So this alpha nuclei are already added into this into the substance, into this reactor. So here if we add this, then final equation of this is becomes plus alpha. Okay, why we are write the negative sign here? As we discussed in a theory session, this negative sign represents the, as the time passes, this number of nucleus in the parent substances decreases. What is this negative sign indicates here? When the time is passing, okay, due to the radioactivity, the number of nucleus into the parent substances decreases. Now you are add something, so you must be added here. Okay, so accumulation equation is written like this. Okay, how we write this accumulation equation? So accumulation equation is written like this: alpha is equal to dn by dt plus lambda n. Okay, but all of you guys remember this equation, not this one. That is just equation, so I'm writing here, but we are solving the problem with this one. So all of you remember this equation: dn by dt with the accumulation, dn by dt with the accumulation is given as a minus lambda n plus alpha, minus lambda n plus alpha, or alpha minus lambda, no problem, alpha minus lambda n, like this. So let us try to solve out this example. What is the hint? Hint for this example: half-life given, alpha given, r given, and everything is given to us. Okay, so let's write the equation of accumulation in this equation. Why? Accumulation rate is given to us. So equation of accumulation is given as a dn by dt is given as a dn by dt is equal to alpha minus lambda n, alpha minus lambda n. And what we want? Time. So here only one options we have, and this is the integration, because we have a limit of n, we have a limit of t, 0 to t, from beginning. From beginning means what? Initial time is 0 to t. This is the limit of t, that is the limit of t. So find this one. So what is this one? Integration, this term comes into denominator by integration. Okay, here we write this one. Before we are just going to integration, let's write this one. Consider this one is comes in denominator, this one is comes in the numerator. So 1 upon alpha minus lambda n into dn is equal to dt, is equal to dt. So what happened? Take an integration on both side. So integration by taking an integration by taking integration, we get this answer like this. See, what is this? Integration 1 upon alpha minus lambda n dn is equal to integration dt. Simple one. So see, 1 upon alpha minus lambda dn, this is its integration is ln log. This integration is ln log, and this is the directly nothing here, 1. So this integration is t. So just take an integration and finally you find the answer. So finally you get this answer like this. See, after this calculation of this one, you get this answer. Answer is equal to t is equal to 9.55 days. Why days? Because maybe half-life is given to, okay, half-life is given. Let's I'm giving some idea about the integration also, otherwise if some students are confused here. See what I'm telling to all of you, this one is 1 upon, this is a format like a 1 upon n. What is 1 upon n? 1 upon x dx, like this. So 1 upon x integration is ln x. So its integration is what? Ln x. So what is its integration? Ln alpha minus lambda into n. Now this is n. What is the coefficient of n? Minus lambda. This minus lambda put into the denominator as per our integration rule. So this is minus lambda is equal to integration of dt, that is t. Integration of dt is what? T. If you want to put the limit, then also put the limit 0 to n and 0 to t. This is from beginning, so 0 to n and 0 to t. So now I hope you understand this one. Okay, now you just find the answer of this one. So t is equal to, take this minus sign here, so t is equal to 1 upon lambda ln alpha minus lambda n, and this is minus 1 sign, this minus whatever the minus 1 here, this minus means what? Minus 1 here, thus multiplication comes into the power, and limit is from 0 to n. Now I hope you understand. Okay, now you are able to solve this problem, but let's, I am writing this. What is lambda? Why I am solving this one? Because the lambda does not given, t1 half is given. So convert this t1 half into the lambda. How you convert this? So lambda is equal to ln 2 upon t1 half. So put this value here. Okay, put this value in here, and finally you get this. I am not putting it, but you just try to solve this problem by yourself. Okay, I am just write the final equation in which you put the value 1 upon lambda is equal to, put n and then after 0. First you put n, then after 0. So this one is minus 1 means what? It's 1 upon, so into ln 1 upon alpha minus lambda and 0 to, actually first we put the limit, then after we are going to the solution. Okay, 0 to n, sorry, there is a small mistake. First we put the limit, then after we multiply the minus sign. So what is this? Minus 1 upon lambda ln, put the limit n, so alpha minus lambda n. Before you put the lower limit, put the minus sign, so ln 0, put here 0 into lambda 0, so ln alpha is equal to t. So find the t here. So t is equal to minus sign is somewhere here, so t is equal to 1 upon lambda, and here if you consider this situation, ln x minus ln y, so the ln x upon y, so ln alpha minus lambda n upon alpha, and now you consider this minus sign into the power, this minus 1 is into the power. Okay, so what is your answer? T is equal to 1 upon lambda ln alpha upon alpha minus lambda n. Ready? So this is our answer. Lambda, this one, alpha, this one, lambda n. Okay, lambda, you consider this is lambda n. What is r? R is equal to what? Lambda into n. What is r? So r is equal to lambda into n. So put this value here. So finally, after putting this all this value, you get this answer, 9.55 days. Actually this problem is quite different, and thus we have to use some rules of integration. Or you see, there is this example is try to solve this example by yourself first. Okay, then after, if you are not able to solve, you just see the solution here. All of you guys note this example in your books. Okay guys, let us discuss about the next topic, effective half-life and effective decay constant. Up to this lecture we have to discuss only if any radioactive substance we have, then it is decayed into another substance. But this type of radioactivity only for once, means it's just decayed into one element. If we have some element which is decayed into the two elements simultaneously at the same time, then what happens? Then at that time we have to find the effective half-life. For an example, you just consider some radioactive substance X. Suppose we have this radioactive substance X. Now this is the radioactive substance. Now this substance is decayed into the two different elements at the same time, so simultaneous decay, we call it is simultaneous decay. Okay, let's consider it is decayed into the some another element y, and it is also decayed into another element, suppose it is z. Okay, so x is decayed into y and x is decayed into z simultaneously. So we also call this type of cases is a simultaneous decay. Simultaneous decay. Okay, so what happened? So x is decayed into y with some different decay constant lambda 1. Consider here the decay constant is what? Lambda 1. Now x is again decayed into z with the different decay constant, suppose consider lambda 2. Okay, so this is the parent nuclei and this both are daughter nuclei. So let's write here, that's what? Parent nuclei, and this one are daughter nuclei. Okay, so if this type of situation is given to us, then how to find the half-life? See, half-life of the first one is different, half-life of the second one is different. Then in this case we have to find the effective half-life. Okay, and similarly effective decay constant. So if you consider that both are together, then the effective decay constant is given by, in the simultaneous decay, in a simultaneous decay, effective decay constant is given by lambda effective is equal to lambda 1 plus lambda 2. All of you guys, not this relation. Okay, effective decay constant is given by lambda 1 plus lambda 2 when x is decayed into the y and z simultaneously. Okay, so this one is a effective one. Now we already know the equation of lambda, so write down the half-life equation. So what is effective half-life? Effective half-life, let's write here effective half-life. So we use this equation, so let's put this one. So half-life is equal to what? So ln2 upon lambda effective means what? T1 half effective is equal to what is lambda 1? ln2 upon lambda 1 means half-life of first substance, means y. Half-life of first substance means half-life of x to y, plus ln2 lambda 2 means ln2 upon t1 half of second substance. Second substance is which one right now? Z. So half-life of x to y and half-life of x to z, t1 half 1 and t1 half 2. ln2 is cancelled out on both sides. So finally we get this answer. What we get here? 1 upon T1 half effective is equal to 1 upon T1 half 1 plus 1 upon T1 half 2. T1 half 2. So this is the effective half-life. This is the equation of effective half-life. Sometimes this type of situation is given to us, then we must be write this equation. Okay, if sometimes the question is asking to us in a simultaneous decay, finding out the effective half-life, so use this equation 1 upon T1 plus 1 upon T2. Okay, and find the effective decay constant, then use this equation. So all of you guys must be remember this both equation. Okay, now how does in this situation, if this type of situation is given to us, then how the radioactive decay law is written here. So let's write radioactive decay law. So what is original radioactive decay law? So radioactive decay law is given like this: n is equal to n0 e raised to minus lambda t. N is equal to n0 e raised to minus lambda t. So here the small change. Here what is n0? At t is equal to 0. At t is equal to 0, number of nuclei, generally we call it is n0, 4x. 4x, okay, and t is equal to t, n is equal to n, it is again 4x. Here whatever the equation is writing right here in this radioactive decay law, this is the remaining nuclei. N is what? Remaining nuclei in parent's nucleus. remaining nucleus in a parent substance. So which is parent substance? This one. So in a X substance, whatever the number of nuclei is called N and N0. Okay, so at T0, N0, T, then N. Then here in a simultaneous decay there is a small change. This lambda is replaced. This lambda is replaced by lambda effective. Lambda effective into T. Exactly same. N is equal to N0 e raised to minus lambda T. But lambda is replaced by lambda effective. This one. Lambda effective. So finally we get this answer. Okay. One another question is asking in the same one. Okay. At time T, what is the how we give the number of nucleus for X and Y both? Then at time T, let's see, at time T, thus N is given for X and Y both, Y and Z both. N is equal to, actually R1 is equal to lambda 1 into T. And what is R? So R is equal to lambda into N. R is equal to what? Lambda into N. So activity for the Y is given as R1 is equal to lambda 1 into N. Activity for Y is given as R1 is equal to lambda 1 into N. Similarly, what we write this activity for the Z? So R2 is equal to lambda T into N, like this. Okay, sometimes this type of question is also asking. So in simultaneous decay, we have general equation. Activity R is equal to lambda into N. So R1 is equal to lambda 1 into N and R2 is equal to lambda 2 into N, where N is the number of nuclei at a time T. Here we write down at a time T. What is number of nuclei? So number of nuclei is N. So number of nuclei N. Then R1 is lambda 1 and R2 is lambda 2. Let us guys solve one example for based on this one. Write down one example. So first of all of you write the one example statement. Write down one example statement. Okay, right. A radioactive substance decayed, radioactive substance X, a radioactive substance decayed into in a two-way simultaneously. Underline this, simultaneously. A radioactive substance X decayed in a two ways simultaneously for alpha emission and beta emission. For alpha emission and beta emission. Alpha emission and beta emission with mean lives 3 days and 4 days, with mean life 3 days and 4 days respectively. 3 days and 4 days respectively. Full stop. Find the time during which 3/4 of a sample will decay. 3/4 of a sample will decay. Full stop. Let us write down some given data. Then after we are going to the solution. So what is the given data? Let's say some radioactive substance X is decayed alpha and beta both. So let's write, suppose we have a radioactive substance X is decayed with alpha and is decayed with beta, like this. It's decayed into alpha as well as decayed into beta. So consider exactly similar to this. X is converted into Y, X is converted into Z. So here it is converted into Y, it is converted into Z, means X is decayed into Y with the alpha emission and X is decayed into Z with the beta emission. So their mean life for this one, what is mean life? So tau average, consider it is 1, and this decay constant is considered lambda 1. Its decay constant is considered to be lambda 2. So decay constant lambda 1, decay constant lambda 2, tau average 1, it is a 3 days, and here the tau average 2, it is a 4 days. This is the given in a problem. Okay, now find the time. So write down t is equal to, find out, we have to find the time in this example, during which 3/4 of a sample will decay. What is the meaning of 3/4 decay? This equation is for decayed one or remaining one. So our answer is what? This equation represents the remaining nuclei in a sample. So if 3/4 will be decayed, if 3/4 nucleus are decayed, then we can write down 1/4 nucleus are remaining. Okay, why we write this one? Because we have this equation. In this equation we must be write this n is what? With this n is represent like this n is represents a number of nuclei remaining into the substance. If 3/4 decayed, then 1/4 remaining. Underline this one, 3/4 decayed, then 1/4 remaining. You consider at t is equal to 0. At t is equal to 0, n is equal to what? n0. Then at t is equal to t, what is n? 1/4 remaining. So that is a n0 by 4. That is what? n0 by 4. So this is our some given data. Now what we have to finding out? Time required to from here to here. Time required. So nuclei becomes n0 by 4 in the substance X. In the substance, radioactive substance X. So use this relation and find the T. So what is our equation? So write down this radioactive decay law. Write down radioactive decay law. So what is this? N is equal to n0 e raised to minus lambda effective into t. So see, n give n0 given, n given, everything is given. Unknown parameter is which one? Lambda effective. Unknown parameter is which one? Lambda effective. Let's put some value and finding out the lambda effective. So consider it is equation number 1. Why? Because first we need here what is lambda effective. Okay, then after we are just put the value of lambda effective in this equation and finally we get the answer. So what is the equation of lambda effective? Lambda 1 plus lambda 2. So write down effective decay constant. Effective decay constant. How we write this? So effective decay constant, lambda effective is equal to lambda 1 plus lambda 2, but lambda 1 lambda 2 is again unknown. But see, tau average is given to us. What is the tau average? Tau average is 1 upon lambda. So lambda is what? 1 upon tau average. So this lambda 1 is equal to what? 1 upon tau average 1 plus 1 upon what is lambda 2? Tau average 2. This both are given to us. So lambda effective is equal to tau average 1. So tau average 1 3 days plus tau average 2, that is a 4 days. So 1 upon 3 plus 1 upon 4. Simplify this one. 4 plus 3 7 and 3 into 4 12. So its answer is what? Lambda effective is equal to 7 by 12. Here the days are given. So days inverse. So this is the equation number 2. Put this value into the equation number 1. So from equation 1 and 2 finally we get this. From equation 1 and 2 what we get finally? Lambda effective is put here. So n is equal to n0 by 4. So n upon n0 is 1 upon 4. N upon n0, see, n upon n0 is equal to 1 upon 4. So put in this equation number 1, so that is 1 upon 4 is equal to e raised to minus lambda effective is 7 by 12. So 7 by 12 into t. Take the log on both sides, ln log. So this power is comes into the multiplication. So this is written like this: e raised to 7 by 12 into t is equal to this 1 upon 4 becomes 4. This comes in denominator, then numerator. This is comes into the right hand side. So finally we get the C. So take a log on both side. So what is the answer? 7 by 12 into t is equal to ln 4. ln 4 is what? This ln 4 is simple. This is 2 into ln 2. 2 into ln 2. ln 2 is what? 0.693. As we know, ln 2 is equal to what? 0.693. And just multiply 12 and 7 here. So finally you get the answer of t. So from this equation, all of you guys calculate the t. That is remaining in homework. Okay? Find t. Find t. Again, I am just telling to all of you, what is this? ln 4 is a 2 ln 2. Why? That is a 2 raised to 2. Power is comes into the multiplication. So 2 into what is ln 2? 0.693. This is the well-known value here. So ln 2 is equal to 0.693. So finally we get this answer. T is equal to 12 into 2 into 0.693 upon 7. Finally you find the t. This answer is t. This answer t is in terms of days. Okay, why? Because here we are using this days inverse. So finally we get the answer in terms of days. So this is the one example which is based on simultaneous decay or effective half-life on decay constant. Okay, all of you guys note this theory and example both in your books.